Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Guys, happy Tuesday! It's the second day of the week, so let's get after it. Hope you still have all your drive and motivation to get after whatever it is important for you today. Today we are talking about breakfast of a champion. Guys, I have a client, Brian, and I have a lot of clients like that actually, who are either self-employed or working on some project, some idea of theirs that they're real passionate about. Maybe not necessarily full-time, but like a side gig. But Brian specifically, he is working on his online business full-time, and he's had how well it works, his own productivity. It earns him a living, and how well he works, how well his brain works, how much good quality work he is able to put into his everyday and then recover adequately and get after it all over again for many days, as needed. He is super invested in his own productivity. And when he came to me, he said that, I just want to be my best. I want to make sure that I function effectively. And I can't really figure it out myself because it's very hard to know how you work if you're not, an outside observer. It's very hard to know if you are at your best, or even comparatively to others, like how well you do. It's hard to know unless you have someone else watching you, trying, observing you, measuring certain metrics, applying science, of neuroscience, of brain nutrition, of healthy lifestyle, all these, different biohacks and tools to adjust our biology. Unless someone watches you, helps you to adjust things and then measures the outcome, it's very hard to figure out whether you do well for you, whether you could do better. And when you try something, are you actually doing better or not? Maybe you're doing worse, right? So Brian came to me, he's like, I want to figure out how to do my best, and please help me. So we started working on his nutrition and his sleep. A lot of things were not really the best aligned and scheduled and organized the best way, but specifically nutrition. When he starts working, and for him it's about 9 a.m., he wants to forget about food and hopefully the rest of the outside world while working on his project, on his online business. And he doesn't want his energy to fluctuate, going up and down, or worrying about hunger, or feeling like he has some brain fog, or, it's hard to concentrate, to focus, to think clearly. A lot of it has to do with proper nutrition, not just fuel, but all the other components that you already know we need to create certain neurotransmitters to basically make your brain do its work effectively, right? So Brian likes to start his day at 9, and ideally not to think about anything till at least like 3-4 p.m. And that's possible, but it's only possible if you use actual science and you apply nutrition to your breakfast, that, high performance meal. So we make sure that you actually do get everything that your body, your brain specifically, needs to do its best work. And then after, adjustments here and there, like we also need to make sure that the foods we choose are digested well and Brian feels good on them. He, doesn't have any allergic reactions or milder sensitivities, etc. So anyhow, without further ado, let me introduce to you Brian's high-performance breakfast that he's been successfully using for months already. And probably he's going to stick with it for many, many more months ahead. We change, but a lot of things, once we find they work for us, they usually tend to keep working. So anyhow, what Brian has for breakfast, quite a big breakfast. And I don't necessarily say you need to have it at 9 a.m. or whatever time. I do recommend to have it before your most productive time of the day, like when you need your brain to perform, your brain and your body, everything, come together to deliver your best work. So number one, we focus on delivering proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and with all the micronutrients that the brain needs to keep you alert, focus, clear thinking, energized, motivated, driven. Yes, you can do all of that with food combinations. So for breakfast, Brian likes to have 2-3 eggs, usually 3, with yolk, of course, and all the choline that is super important for focused attention necessary for learning or doing any kind of deep work. Plus, because it has to do with rapid eye movement sleep, it also affects your creativity and mental health. So 2-3 eggs, either a scramble or more often than not boiled, just because Brian likes to pre-boil a lot of his eggs and keep them in the fridge so they're ready to go. So the breakfast takes less time to prepare. He works from home. Then we have sardines, canned sardines, either in water or olive oil, with bones and skin. And that's important because bones actually provide a lot of minerals, specifically quite a lot of calcium that we also know is super important for nerve performance or your brain performance, because calcium is an electrolyte that your body needs and your brain needs to make the neurons fire and communicate each other, without which effective brain work or any work really is not possible. Plus, we have in eggs and in sardines, we have omega-3s and omega-6s in the best possible form. These are structural, essential brainy fats that healthy, high-performing brain absolutely needs as regularly as possible. So we have that, and again, protein to create all the neurotransmitters like dopamine or serotonin or GABA or glutamine, all these neurotransmitters that keep you going. So we have all of that. Then Brian likes to have sweet potato, either mashed or sometimes he roasts a lot of sweet potato, kind of like fries, but they're not fried, they're air fried, kind of, so, but different. So mashed or sweet potato in some form. And sweet potato, besides being super delicious, it's a great source of slow carbohydrate that delivers fiber, that slows down the absorption of sugars in sweet potato. And our brain needs glucose for optimal functioning. So quite big, like medium to big sweet potato allows Brian to function for 6-8 hours uninterrupted, right? So we have sweet potato. Brian also has broccoli or some other green vegetable, but usually broccoli. We like routines, right? So he either steams a lot of a lot of broccoli in advance, or he does put it in his omelette or scramble. So broccoli, cherry tomatoes, and broccoli, amazing source of vitamin K that is important for to deliver oxygen, to oxygenate our brain and to deliver certain nutrients to again help our brain to function better. So we have vitamin K, we have folate, another important B vitamin for our brain performance. In this meal in general, we have, if not all, then most B vitamins in quite good amounts. I'm gonna run it through my nutrition calculator, but I know that this breakfast, it supplies quite a huge chunk of nutrition, essential nutrition for the day, if not, most of it. So we have broccoli, about 200 grams or so, maybe 150, 200, depends on the head of the broccoli. We have cherry tomatoes with a lot of antioxidants. Brain is highly active organ, and it needs antioxidants to help prevent or deal with or manage the damage that occurs in a highly active organ or tissue, because our cells, everything, especially neurons, they're very active. There is a lot of activity going on, and it produces a lot of oxidants, and we need a lot of antioxidants to counteract that, right? And whole foods are the best ways to deliver that. And then, of course, broccoli, tomatoes, we have vitamin C, we have a lot of other phytochemicals and vitamins. And then Brian likes to have some dark berry, either blueberries or blackberries. Usually he's a fan of blueberries because they also are on the sweeter side. And blueberries, there are so many studies showing some brain benefits when eating blueberries. Blueberry is considered to be like this brainy berry, but it's not actually just blueberries. It's just the studies were done on blueberries, but any dark berry will do. Blackberries, I would say, probably even better because there is sugar content is less. Usually there are more antioxidants because they're less, so to speak, developed, or we usually choose different fruit and berries for their sweetness. So blackberries were not so much chosen yet or developed as blueberries. So usually they would have more protective antioxidants and polyphenols. Just a little bit more information for you. And that's the breakfast of a champion. When it comes to protein, it's about 36, probably even more, probably around 40 grams of protein in that meal. And we have all the essential fats. We have a ton of B vitamins. We have choline that we know important for brain. We have fiber. We have antioxidants. We have vitamin C, major antioxidants. We have some vitamin E, especially if you choose sardines in olive oil. Ton of good stuff. Probably, if I were to add something else to this breakfast of champion for your most productive part of the day, I would add dark chocolate. Definitely no less than 85%, because dark chocolate has this effect. It has many effects on mental health and brain performance, actually, but one of the more or less proven fact is that the compounds in dark chocolate, like not just, polyphenols and antioxidants, but also iron, for example, they improve blood circulation in the brain. And blood circulation is important because it delivers oxygen and nutrients to the brain, the ones that are in your food, right? So you don't just want to eat them in your food, you actually want to deliver them to your brain. And so better blood circulation in your brain helps with that. And brain has been proven to also boost dopamine for most people. And dopamine, as we know, it's a molecule of drive, of motivation, helping you to do more, especially more of hard work. So dark chocolate, an ounce of it, I usually go for 100%. If you're not dark chocolate connoisseur like myself, used to that and loving that bitter taste, then I would probably go for 85 to start by, but no less than that. The less you go, the less chances you have to boost your brain performance and instead load up on a ton of sugar, right? We don't want that. And that's it, guys. Breakfast of a champion that Brian has been using for months now, and I don't think he's gonna stop, because the benefit, he starts working at 9 a.m. and he doesn't have to think about food, or he doesn't feel like he needs to anything to slow down, that slows him down, right? He doesn't need anything. He just works like a machine for 6 to 8 hours, at least 6 hours. Usually he ends up working for 7-8 hours, and then he has another meal, and that's about it for him, because he's also quite an early person and he finishes his food early. So that's a short case study. If you want to re-listen to all the components in this breakfast, please do re-listen to this episode. Also share this episode with another person, maybe your roommate, maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend, someone in your household, and maybe together experiment with this kind of breakfast and see how your work day improves, how your productivity skyrockets. I have no doubt that it's going to improve a lot, especially if you're coming off some sugary drink and croissant. What else? Share this episode, because we all want to do better. If you have any questions about substitutions in this breakfast, maybe you don't like specific food, or it's not available, you don't digest it well, please do reach out. There is a link in the show notes leading to a form where you can put in your questions, so use it. And guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and till next time, eat better breakfast.